Most people believe that the purpose of sex is to achieve a release through the orgasm. This doesn't make any sense, and it results in a very poor sex life for everybody. Having sex with that philosophy completely malnourishes your sexual relationship, because the ultimate purpose of sex is not to get a release. It is actually to do exactly the opposite of that. A release is an act of emptying yourself. What you really want from sex is to fill up from this experience, to come out of it full of life and love and energy. So really you are looking for a state of fullness, not a state of emptiness. So our ultimate purpose in sex is not to get rid of this sexual energy. It is to create in sex with each other this sexual energy, to fill up with it, to saturate with it, and to come out of it full of life. And in our culture, we created this very absurd mythology that if you get a release and you empty all that sexual energy, you will achieve that state of fullness. It's going to give you the great happiness and aliveness and well-being and harmony in your relationship and love and everything, all by the act of emptying that sexual energy out of yourself through a release. It totally defies any common sense. This doesn't happen from emptying yourself. It happens from filling up with this sexual energy, with all these senses. It's almost like we are treating sexual energy as a toxic substance that builds up in your body and you just need to empty yourself. Does give you a really nice sense of relief, but it doesn't go any way beyond that. It doesn't make your life full of genuine happiness, enrichment, beauty, vitality, and love. And sexual energy is not shit. It is not a toxic waste that you need to expel from your body. It's exactly the opposite. It is an incredibly powerful, magical, nutritious substance. It really feeds you so magically, all of you, and it really feeds your relationship. Why are we trying to get rid of it? It's not like going for a shit. It's the opposite. It's like having a really amazing, nutritious meal. So look, if the purpose is to actually generate and take in sexual energy, this does mean changing how you practice sex. People often feel that surely you must have a release, it must happen, otherwise you will explode, you will die. You can include the release and enjoy it, it's not a problem. For a lot of people, a release will actually be a loss of sexual energy because you're flushing out your sexual energy. That is what a release is. So less sexual energy will stay with you. It takes something away. Now, it's a price that you are okay to pay because it feels really good. That's fine. You buy this thing, this release, with, X number of credits of your sexual energy. Fine, do that. So the idea is to just make sure that you fill up with enough sexual energy before the release. So even when you flush some of your sexual energy out, a lot of it has already been absorbed and it is not lost. Just know that this is not the main value of sex, and make sure that you deliver the main value first. Everything that really matters, that feeling of nourishment, enrichment, saturating with love and life energy, happens before the release, in the process of saturation, moment by moment, throughout sex. And then it totally works to include the release as well, if you do this way, and you will still have lots of sexual energy staying with you and sex will be deeply fulfilling. But also this is not true that you must have a release. This is conditioning from very specific sexual practice that everybody has adopted, which creates sexual tension to make the release necessary, because it comes from this philosophy that the purpose of sex is the release. And for the release, you need sexual tension to release it. So all our sexual technique is actually intentionally designed to create sexual tension. People get used to just rubbing the genitals specifically to get them tense. So you're not really creating or taking in any sexual energy. You're just irritating that nerve to get a release. And then people say, well, it feels tense, so I must get a release. It's impossible without a release. Well, no, it's because you created it with that specific sexual practice. There is a totally different way to approach the genitals that is available to you, and it is a lot more enriching to create a really nice, powerful flow of sexual energy that nourishes you on, and it doesn't overstimulate the genitals or make them tense. So with a different sexual technique, you don't create that tension that makes it necessary to release. There is a lot more amazing sexual energy in your whole body, in the whole space of your body, before you even get to the genitals, if you change your practice and technique. But people usually completely even skip it. The practice of channeling and absorbing your sexual energy, also a sexual technique. It helps you to avoid that tension, to close sex well without coming, and you can feel great after that. And thirdly, a lot of it is psychosomatic, because people believe that they need to release. That anxiety in your mind creates anxiety in your body. And then you have the sensation that the body needs to release. The body is just somatizing that anxiety from your mind. And once you reframe it in your head, what sex is really for, and practice sex differently, then the body and mind, they get reconditioned from practice. And as soon as you start sex, they understand we are not here to release, we are here to fill up. And it becomes more and more normal for your body to feel. Before I go on, I have a new free guide for you that expands on this. It's called the 7 changes that you can make right now to make your sex life a lot more nourishing and easy and loving. So make sure you download it via the link below the video. And if you want to learn properly how to practice sex in this much more enriching way, then my holistic sex course equips you completely, your entire sex life, with all the practices and the techniques and the perspectives that you need, and a step-by-step process for women, men, and couples. The other change that you need to make in your sex life, that yes, sometimes you do need to release your sexual energy, it is true, but not necessarily every time. You know, your daily life goes through periods of higher sexual energy, lower sexual energy. So you need to be discerning of that. What do you actually need today? Sometimes you really need to release. Maybe having too much sexual tension won't feel good. That's fine. Release it. Other times you're not sexually tense. You might even be a bit low on sexual energy, but you just have a habit that if sex starts, if genitals are touched, this must conclude with a release. So you might be flushing the empty tank. It's not good for you or for your sex life. So today, not releasing is actually good for you. Women in particular often don't feel that, they're having sex just to relieve some genital tension. Sometimes, but, very often, that is not how women relate to sex. But culturally, they're just forced into getting a release every time in sex, like that is the most important thing. So your sex life ebbs and flows through times when you need to release more of your sexual energy, or times when you need to build up your sexual energy, or neither. There's just no pressing need to release, you're just enjoying sex. So flow with those needs naturally. And look, sometimes you just need to come. You're tense, you're horny, and you just need to relieve yourself. Like it's a pure animal thing, like you really need a poo. Is just what you need? Fine, we all have days like this. But you can't reduce your whole sex life to doing just this. Some one-off days for that are fine, but most of the time the purpose of sex must not be this. If you actually want a decent, rich sexual relationship that really feeds you and your love, and if we don't want our partners to feel just like a toilet on a daily basis, and if we don't want our whole sex life to feel like a toilet, so focus on that, and a lot will change for you already. When you have sex, just be aware that even if you include the release, the real purpose of being here is to create this sexual energy and take it in and fill up with it. And it doesn't even matter what exactly you will do today. This can happen in so many different ways. And that is the beauty of not focusing only on getting the release, which is the same pathway every single time. You're now free to go in so many different directions, to have so many different journeys of filling up with that sexual energy in different ways. As long as you spend some time there, filling up, saturating with every moment. Enjoy yourselves.